Hey everyone, this is Ashish from Developer Hut and welcome to the next topic of Go for Beginner series, which is how to declare variables in Go. So before we start, let's create one more Go file here. So I will simply say to -variables.go. Okay, I will just simply go to the hello.world and I will just copy the content here and I will paste it here. So one thing that you need to make sure that whenever you are creating multiple programs, you must rename the main package, because whatever the program that you are going to execute, that has to be in a main package. So I just rename the main to main2 in hello-world.go. Okay, and we have main package here. Okay, so in Go there are different types of variable. For example, we have an int variable which contain numbers, we have float which contain number with decimals, we have a string which contains string values, and we have a bool which contains true and false values. So these are the basically data types, but don't worry about it, we will be anyway going to see a data types in more detail in our upcoming sessions. So now there are two ways you can declare a variable. The first way is by using var keyword. So what is the syntax for this? So syntax is very simple. Syntax is you have to use the var, which is keyword, then variable name, and then you can give a type. So this is how you can declare a variable. This is one way of doing it. So for example, let's create one variable. Let's declare one variable. So I will say var and I will say, let's say name, and type is string. So this is one variable which we have declared. Then let's create another. I will say var age and I will say int. Okay, so this is a one way to declare the variables. Now another way is by using the colon equal to sign. Okay, so this way we can declare variable. So what is the syntax? The syntax is again very simple. Syntax is variable name and colon equal to sign and the value. Okay, so how we can declare variable using this, let's see. So I will say, let's say x colon equal to 2. So here if you see, x did not contain any data types, which is we have here in a var keyword. So how compiler knows what is the data type of x? So basically x data type is derived or inferred from the value. Okay, so this is called as inferred data types, because the value decides what is the data type of this particular variable. Okay, so these are the two ways where we can declare the variables, right? Now we know how to declare the variables. Now there is one more way where we are declaring the variables as well as we are assigning some initial values to it, right? So now with the var keyword, how we can do this? It's very simple. The syntax is the same. So I will say var, I will say a, right? And let's say I will say this int value and then equal to, let's say 20. Okay, so this is we are declaring the variable as well as we are assigning some values to it. Okay, so this is what I will say, declare and initialize with value. Okay, and in case of colon equal to sign, we already assigning some values, right? So here you can simply say let's say y colon equal to 40. Okay, so this is what we are declaring the variable as well as assigning some value to the variable. Now if you simply print it, it will anyway print whatever the values that we have. You can also assign the values to the variable later as well. So in case of var, for example, let's say we already created one variable over here. Let's say it's a name, right? So it does not contain any value. So you can assign the values here. So this is basically a value assignment. Okay, so value assignment will happen like this. So I will say name is equal to, let's say, John. Okay, so this is how you are assigning the value to the variable after declaration. There are two ways. You declare and assign the value, or you declare simple variable and then later you assign the values, right? Also, one more thing over here is, if you declare the variables without any value assignment, then compiler will automatically assign some default values to those variables. Okay, so for example, let's say I will create some variable. I will say var a, which is of type int, then var b, which is of type, let's say, string, then var c, which is of type bool. Okay, so now this variable contains the default value. So if you print it, so I will say fmt dot println, and I will simply print the values. Okay, so I will say b and I will say c. Then if you compile and run this, you will see the default value. So default value to int is basically a 0, string is a blank, and bool is a false value. Okay, so this is 0, this is blank value, right? And then for boolean we have a false value. Okay, so these are the default values which are assigned to these variables. So there is a bit difference between var keyword and equal to value assignment. Okay, so let's see that difference. So I will simply just add a multi-line comment and I will add difference over here. So basically var is, so var declaration, you can use this inside as well as outside the function. Okay, so you can use this inside and outside. So basically this is what we have declared the variable inside the function, right? In the main function, you can also do this. So I will say var, let's say b, which is string. This is also correct way to do it. Okay, so you can use var inside as well as outside the function. However, in case of equal to sign, right, equal to sign can be only done inside the function, not outside the function, right? I will say function. Okay, so this is the first main difference between these two. Then the next difference is here the variable declaration and value assignment. Value assignment can be done separately. So if you see over here, we declared the variable, right? And then we assign the values, right? In case of the name, right? We just declare the name variable without assigning any values, and then we assign a value. Also, we also have some other variables which is declared as well as assigned some value in the initial stage only. Okay, so the declaration and value assignment can be done separately in this case. However, in case of colon equal to, the declaration and value assignment cannot be done separately. Okay, so this won't be possible here in case, because whenever you are declaring the variable, you have to assign the value immediately. Otherwise, compiler don't know what is a type of this particular variable. That will be anyway compile time error. So I hope you understand how to declare variables in a Go. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.